Hello, what's up, everybody? Good to see you again. Welcome back. And I got a couple of announcements to make to start off the video. So the first one is our Gemio project is right now live on GitHub. So I will link it down in the description and also pull it up right now. All right, so here's my project up and ready on GitHub for you to play around with. So it's github.com/touchbuild/Gemio. And here's my project. So yeah, feel free to take a look at it and test it out yourself. Just go for it. All right, and the second thing I want to discuss is if you want to look at the other tab I have open, and this is it. Launch Android, launch the game on my actual phone. So um, before making this video, I tried loading this game on my phone, and I got some not the best news in terms of how it's performing on the phone. So look like the frame rates are really low, and so we're gonna fix that because it seems like it could be something that Unity's doing out of the box, and we gotta write some code to make it not do it, which is it's capping the frame rates per second to 30, and that's I guess a default Unity feature. So, but if you've never launched a game from Unity to your phone, these are the steps you got to take. So you got to prepare your phone. If you want to pause and take a look at these instructions, and then you got to configure Unity for Android, which we've already done. And then the last one is just build and launch the game. And if you're running it for the first time ever, it's gonna take a while to build and launch the game. So just be aware of that. The other thing to know is if your USB debugging is not turned on, be sure to turn it on. Otherwise, you're not gonna see the device in that run device drop down. So a couple of quick tips there. And then the other thing we just talked about is this guy right here. So I googled it. Basically, why is my frame rate so low on my phone? So seems like it was suspecting thermal limits and battery saving protocols or phone hardware limitation, which is not the case because I got the latest Pixel phone, so should have pretty decent hardware to handle a game like Gemio, which is like, in my opinion, super basic 2D platformer. So this is what I suspect the problem is I haven't uncapped the target frame rate, which is by default Unity caps. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Unity caps mobile games at 30 frames per second to preserve battery life. So this is what we have to put into our code to turn it off. And then the last thing is, well, a couple of things. One, when the game launched on my device, it actually launched in vertical mode, or the orientation was portrait, right? So I had to turn my phone over and then it switched to landscape, but we only wanted to be in landscape mode. We didn't really make this game uh, for vertical screens or portrait screens. It should only be in landscape mode on phones. So that is one thing we need to tackle. The other thing is the buttons we have right now for the game. These left, right, and jump buttons. When you actually use it on a phone, these are way too small. So we need to increase the size of these buttons so that we can actually tap them on while we're actually interacting on our phones. So yeah, couple of things to tackle in this one, and let's see how far we can go. Okay, so I got Gemini pulled up. I was gonna say Gemio, but Gemini pulled up, and let me talk to Gemini about what we want to do. So I just launched the game on my Android device, and a few things we need to fix. So the first one would be orientation lock. The game loaded in portrait mode, when I turn the device sideways, switch to landscape, but the game should only allow landscape modes and no portrait mode. Number two, buttons. I think we can handle it ourselves, so I'm going to skip that. Number two, frame rates on phone seems very low. I did a quick Google search and learned that Unity by default caps FPS on phones at 30 FPS. Could you confirm and suggest how to get or disable this cap? What else were we talking about? That's actually probably it, right? The other thing was the buttons issue, so which I think should be pretty simple. You just drag the size of the buttons. So for now, let's just try to fix these two things real quick. Okay, so both should be fairly simple in my, if I had to guess. So first things first, locking the orientation to landscape. This is just seems like some project settings that we need to update. So let's just run through these quickly. So edit and project settings and select player. Player is here. Okay. Click the Android tab. Android tab is already selected. Expand the resolution and presentation section. So resolution and presentation is here. Find the orientation setting. Orientation. Auto rotation. Okay, so I assume this is the problem. Ensure default orientation is set to auto rotation. It is. Immediately below that, in the allowed orientations for auto rotations checklist, uncheck portrait and portrait upside down. So portrait and portrait upside down should be unchecked. And this configuration ensures the game is strictly landscape. Cool. So this should be good. Let's see if that's saved. I assume it is. Yeah, looks good. Now let's go back to Gemini and disabling the 30 FPS cap. Google search was exactly right. By default, to prevent battery drain, we got the 30 FPS cap. So to override this and get that smooth 60 frames per second gameplay, just need a single line of code when the game initializes. Since your main menu is the very first scene that loads, this is the perfect place to put it. So let's go to our main menu.cs. So scripts. Level data is not the right one. Main menu. Okay, so main menu.cs. This is our script, and seems like it should be just a single line in our start method. So start game. We don't have a start method. So just add it in. I mean, do we really want to cap it at 60 though? Like what if my phone can handle better than 60? Let's see. Target frame rate is 60. Let's test it out. So before our start game method, I'll just have our start method. Save it in. Yep, so cool. Any other changes in there? I don't think so. Yeah, looks good. So the tip here is if you frequently test your individual levels, okay, never mind. This is asking Frequently test your individual levels. Nah, I can leave it. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's see how it actually performs this time. All right, so all compiled. So last thing we want to do is work on that control buttons. So mobile UI canvas, mobile controls, expand. What just happened? Didn't really modify anything, so should be good. Mobile controls, and let's go to our scene view. Also, yeah, like you can see how tiny these buttons are. Your phone screen is like your thumb is not as small. So let's work on these. Left button, I'll probably do with at least double it probably. So might as well do both at the same time or all three. Width, I'll do 160, so 320. And height, also double. So I'll probably do 150. And then let's just space these out. So negative, I'll do negative 700 for position X. Position Y should be negative 250 maybe. No, not the wrong thing. That should be for the right button. Negative 517, I'll do negative 300 maybe. And for the jump button, left button actually, jump button is 768. I'll leave it at 768 actually, negative 768. It's like towards the edge of the screen. It's not that bad. Is it too big now? Might be a bit too big. Maybe reduce the width a little bit more. And I'll do 280. 280. I think the height was a problem. The width maybe was not. It was still kind of problematic, but maybe not as much. But position should be negative. I'll increase it slightly, maybe 360 or 390. Um, and yeah, this looks good. You know what? I'll bring them closer together, maybe even a little bit more. 450. Yeah, I like this. So I think this should be pretty decent. Then the other thing I should probably do is these are kind of small, so let's increase those font sizes there. So these level text and score text, I think font size should be probably 50 at least. I like that. And might even do 60. Yeah. Yeah, looks good. And increase the width there and the height also. So it should probably be 300. Height 100. Eh, height should be okay. I'll do the vertical centering as well. Width maybe 320. Um, just playing by ear with 320. Height 100, right? That's what we did. And then center vertically as well. Position X might do 780, so that it's still in our screen, or 760. And what is it looking like? What is going on? What did I even do? Anyway, um, again, I just hit S on accident, and that pop-up just pops up. So anyway, so I think this looks pretty good. I'll test it out and see if I like it. So I think you need to go to build profiles and Android, select your phone. So I got my Pixel selected there, and just do a build and run. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yes. Save changes, yeah, save the changes. And it's probably gonna take some time, so we're gonna fast forward. Alright, so that took a really long time to compile. So in the meantime, I already went ahead and had some dinner. But anyway, so I grabbed a screenshot from my phone, and this is what it looks like right now. So, it's like even though we have some gaps in our screen here, the reason we don't have those gaps in my phone, which is the Pixel 10, is because I don't think that that phone it has the aspect ratio of 1920 by 1080. What is that, like 16 to 9 or whatever? I think it's wider. So the aspect ratio is different, and that's why we don't have those gaps. But I'll tinker with these placements a little bit more after the video is done. So it's not going to be in one of these episodes. This is boring stuff. I'll keep doing it until it feels good, and then we'll stick with whatever feels right. Okay, but this is a screenshot of what it actually looked like while I ran it on my phone. And the second thing is the frame rate right now is awesome. The 60 frames per second is so much better than the 30 that I was getting earlier. So that single line of code, or not really single line, right? The start method we added, it really makes a huge difference in how the game actually feels on the device. So moving on. Before I forget, I should propagate the changes we made on our canvas to the master prefab we have. So overrides, and we got the mobile UI canvas selected. And we're gonna do the apply all, and this is gonna propagate it to level 2 as well, and also to the master prefab. So looks good there. What else should I be doing? I think we could probably, let's see if we have any unfinished business from the last episode we did. I think there might be something. If I remember correctly, we probably skipped out on doing like a transition menu when you hit the trophy at the end of the level, right? So I'm trying to think if I want to start working on that. And just to give you guys a reminder of what I'm talking about, let me pull up Gemini. So yeah, these are the things we were working on. So displaying the current level, which we added. Um, phase 2 collectible polish. This is the nice little sparkles we get now when we collide with our oranges. I'll show you. Okay, so those sparkles right there. And we did not do this one, level progression. So here, Gemini assumes that we currently instantly snap to the next level the second we touch the goal, which is not true. So I'll have to remind Gemini that shall we move on to level progression for phase 3? Phase 3, level progression. Please remember that we do not instantly snap to the next level currently. We wait about 4 seconds while the winning music plays and the player becomes immortal in those 4 seconds. And then the next level loads. So victory jingle before the scene changes is already in place, but what is that transition it wanted me to do? Instantly stop snapping. We'll use a coroutine to pause for a few seconds. Okay, so it just would have paused the player, I guess, instead of us currently having the ability to, keep moving once you hit that goal. So I think that actually might not be a bad idea, but I was thinking the same thing too. So right now, if you get to the end of the level, hit that trophy, you can still move around, right? So I think it makes sense for the player to not be able to move around. Oh, also looks like the other thing we forgot is to update our UI manager and apply the changes we made here to the master prefab. So let's just quickly go to our UI manager, overrides, and apply all. Okay, and I think I'll implement the pause there. Let's see what it does. Static variable to prevent double triggering or dying after winning. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it does kind of remember it. Cool. Play the victory jingle. Stop the background music. I think all of those. Okay, so this is the part I want in there. Is freeze the player's movement. Optional but highly recommended. Okay, so this is in level goal. Let's open it up. Scripts, level goal, and do side by side comparison. Not gonna be that much different than what we have currently, other than the freeze player problem. Freeze player logic not being in our script. So okay, so on trigger, let's see any other changes at the top. Doesn't seem like it. Next scene name is level complete. Okay, audio clip, we'll pick up sound. It says win sound. We have a pickup sound, so could change it a little bit to win sound, right? But I'll just leave it as is. It's just consistent with other. I'll change it to win sound. I kind of like it better. Win sound. So pickup sound. We got a couple more instances where we got to change it. So copy this baby and change here and play win sound. Anyway, if I go too fast in these changes, let me know in the comment. But my thinking is that you can always rewind the video, pause the video. So I kind of move quickly. But yeah, if you guys feel like I go too fast, let me know. So in the in the Gemini script, it's making the is level complete equals false in the start function, but we have it in our awake function here. So I guess one question we should probably try to understand, and we probably should have done this earlier, is what's the difference between the awake and start functions methods. And then I should probably specify first that we have currently have our is level complete equals false set in our awake function seems to get the job done. Just curious, what's the difference between the awake and the start methods? I'll just stay consistent here also. And then moving on in our script on trigger enter to D. A collision compare tag is triggered. Is triggered is assuming that triggers the animation. Yeah, if I remember. So that boolean's for our animation. It forgot a bunch of things here. So guys, our functions, our code looks much different than what we have. So just be aware if you're working with Gemini for a long time, it's gonna forget what you've built earlier. So anyway, so we're basically going to move on. Is level not complete? Is the check it's doing? We're doing a different check here. Is triggered. So should be fine either way. We have our is level complete. Okay, is level complete equals true. Instead of doing that, I think we do set the is level complete equals true here as well, right there. All right, so let me move this to the top. And then we stop our background music. We play the victory jungle jingle. Um, play the wind sound and da, 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 and then fire up the animation. So you totally forgot about that animation over there. But this is important. This is what we're copying over. Is freeze the player's movement. And we're gonna get rid of the debug logging there. Uh, boom, paste our freeze player logic. Okay. Da, 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 da. Completely stops physics on the player. Cool, sounds good to me. And then start coroutine. Load next level. Routine delayed. And this is the function we created earlier. And it gave me a new one here. So waiting for the specified delay time, calculate what the next scene index is based on the build settings. Okay. Next scene name. Okay. So this actually might be a better way to do it because we don't really want to have to manually be tracking the name of the next scene in our level goal object. So I like the way we're doing things in this updated script. So I'll get rid of this hard-coded next scene name from this script here. Okay. And I'll do this guy here. So it does calculate what the next scene index is based on the build settings. Okay. Cool. Check if the next level actually exists. in the build settings. And if it does, that's when it loads the next scene. Otherwise, if there are no more levels, it loads our main menu. So love the new way of handling things. So I'll just copy this part from there to here. Ooh. And save it and test it out. Any errors? I don't think so. Should be good. So save the script back to Unity. All right, so all compiled. Now we should be expecting two things. As soon as we collide with our trophy, the player's movement should be frozen, and we should still be hearing the winning sound or the jingle there. And what else? Our level progression should still be working, right? So did I miss anything? I don't think so. Oh, the other thing is once we complete level 2, it should take us to our main menu, right? So, okay, so time to give that a shot. So we'll go back to our main menu scene and start from there. So main menu. All right, so hit play. Oh no. Okay, so level 2. And they can't move now. Oh, by the way, the background sound didn't play, so let's fix that first. And I probably know why, because we changed the name of the background sound from pickup sound to wind sound. So I think we basically just lost the sound that was there. Wind sound, none. So that's the problem. So let's go to our audio, which was our wind sound. Let me just find it. I think it could be this one. No, that sounds like a background music actually. Let's see. Okay, so found it. It's this guy right here. So level goal, wind sound. I'll just drag and drop here. And hopefully it updated it in our levels. Scenes, level 1. Level goal. Wind sound. Okay, it's set. So back to the main menu. Let's test. Ooh, so I can't move it anymore. That's working perfectly. And we do get sent back to the main menu once we complete our last level, which is level 2 currently. So yeah, no more hard-coded level 2 in our script, and everything we just did is working perfectly. So that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one.